After the police found that ritual spot, the town went crazy. News spread fast. People came from other villages to see where the mortuary man who sold the dead used to work. The hospital lost most of its workers. The patients who could walk left. Even the local pastors started holding night prayers outside the compound. But the police refused to close the place. They said Pascoe was still out there and they wanted to catch him alive. 2 nights later, around 3 a.m., the trap finally worked, but not the way anyone expected. That night was quiet. Too quiet. Even the dogs didn't bark. The police had placed motion sensors near the bush where they found the pot. Around 3:17 a.m., one of them went off. The signal came from the drainage area behind the mortuary. The officers moved in with torches. At first, they didn't see anything, just grass and mud. Then one of them noticed a small hole near the fence, half covered with wood. When they pulled it open, a smell hit them so bad some of them almost threw up. Underneath was a shallow tunnel, about the size of a man crawling through. They called for backup. A few minutes later, they dragged someone out of that tunnel. It was Pascoe, but he didn't look like the same man anymore. His face was swollen, his eyes yellow, his body covered in dirt. His brown coat was still on, but soaked with blood. When the torchlight hit him, he smiled, slowly, like he'd been expecting them. One officer shouted, "Lie down." Pascoe just said, "You people don't understand. They told me to do it." "Who told you?" The officer asked. He looked up and whispered, "The ones who don't stay dead." That was when one of the officers hit him and dragged him out. He didn't fight. He just laughed quietly. The kind of laugh that doesn't sound like a person's laugh. They took him to the police station that night. The next morning, they moved him to the state prison in town. Everyone thought that was the end. But strange things started happening again. 2 police officers who touched him during the arrest fell sick the same week. One of them died before he could give his report. And every night in the prison, the guard said Pascoe talked to himself for hours, whispering names of the dead people whose bodies he had worked on. He told one cellmate that their spirits had promised him protection if he gave them more bodies. When the cellmate asked what happened if he stopped, Pascoe smiled and said, "They'll come for me." 3 weeks later, that's exactly what happened. The prison called the hospital one morning. They said Pascoe was dead. No wounds, no sign of struggle. Just lying on his bed, eyes open, mouth wide, like he was screaming when he died. The strangest part? When they went to collect his body, the mortuary workers refused to keep it. They said the freezers went off by themselves when his body entered. So they buried him quickly, behind the police.